Welcome to this video. If you will remember, building a dashboard is a three-part process. Part 1 is to brainstorm your dashboard to make sure that you're very clear about what you want to see and how you want to see it. Part 2 is using that information to then build your reports. And Part 3 is using those reports and inserting them into your dashboard. In this video, we are actually going to brainstorm what we want our dashboard to look like. Doing this helps us get very clear about the report types we're looking for, the titles, how we want to see our data. And this makes the whole process more efficient, and it helps us really think about our dashboard in a more nuanced way before we actually go about building it. So let's get started. You will see that I actually have 2 questions, and I've highlighted various points in each one. What we're going to do is go through actually answering these questions together, and that will help give us the information we need to begin building our reports. So we're at step 1. Let's do that together. So, firstly, I want to see the number of hot, warm accounts in Texas, California, and North Carolina by status. What do I mean by this question? Well, firstly, I'm seeing hot and warm. If we remember, if we take a look at our accounts, so let's take a look at an account record itself. What we will see is from this account record, 360 vacations, what we can see is that we have a rating, right, which is warm. So when we go here, when we talk about our hot or warm accounts, what we're actually talking about is a rating. Whenever you're trying to think about what you want to see, you will remember that a report is actually a bunch of fields, a bucket of information, and each of these fields are things that we can actually look for in a report. So when we talk about hot and warm, we're actually talking about the rating of the account. So in actual fact, we want to see hot and warm accounts in the state, right, Texas, California, North Carolina, by status. So let's think a little bit about what we mean by status. So if I go down here, what you will see is that each account is actually sort of broken down by what we talk about in terms of the communication that we have had. You will know that you can actually log communication with a specific organization, right, or a specific activity. So what we have here is the status that we're talking about is the communication. So what I'm going to do is actually put this here and say communication or meetings. And in Salesforce, these are classified as activities. And I'm going to put that right here, activities. So what we're basically looking for is an account with activities report. Now, the next question is, have we already built a report? No, we have not. However, can we summarize or group this information? And we can do that because we have 2 pieces. We have accounts and we have status. And that helps us, having those 2 pieces actually helps us figure out whether there is a grouping opportunity. Remember, if we just had accounts or we just had status, we wouldn't be able to build a dashboard because a chart needs an x-axis and it needs a y-axis. So let's look at what a possible working title could be. We know that it must have accounts and that it must have status in it. So I came up with a very simple one that basically says, I want to know my hot or warm account task status by state, right? So I want to know their activities or their status. In other words, what is the status of my communication with them by state? And I wanted to view the information. I have a variety of options here: bar chart, pie chart, graph, gauge, funnel, line chart, and table. And I wanted to view this information as a bar chart because I wanted to see by state, right, by state, where each of these people are or where each of these accounts are. So what do I want to see on the x-axis? I want to see the billing state or province. I want to see where these accounts are, and I want to see where we are in terms of our status with them. All right. Do I want to show the total? In this case, I said no. In this case, I said no. I do not want to see the total. Do I want to see the value? I say no. And what I mean by value is, do I want to see the number on the actual bar? In this case, no, that's not important. And essentially, percentages is not important to me in a bar chart, because a percentage actually is more effective if it's on something like a pie chart or a donut, for example. Now, the next step we have to do is take this information and actually build our report. Once we build our report, we can then paste it into this, and then we can make sure we have grouped it, and finally we can insert it into our dashboard. So that's what the next set of videos is going to accomplish for us.